Alrighty. Hello and welcome again to another episode of Romancing Our Stones, your male survival guide to media and pop culture your girl will likely drag you to. This is Alex.
And I am Matt, and we are on Baby Watch 2020. Today is Alex's wife's due date, and he probably listens to the podcast, the baby, and realizes he's not ready for this world quite yet. So
That's always scared him.
Yeah, he's staying here. So we're recording without a guest. We had a couple lined up. We thank everyone for their submissions, but just because to work it out with the schedule of the baby potentially coming, very hard to coordinate everyone's schedule here. So we'll be sure to, maybe we'll get someone on for the first one of Matt James' season, but we'll see. You may be out of commission. I might need a temporary co-host to fill in for you.
Maybe some solo episodes or something. Yeah, for sure. So I'm filing the eviction notice papers right now. Baby hasn't gotten the memo yet. He's got to come out.
Yeah, we're not waiting anymore. Because this is an odd hour show, I am not drinking anything. But are you drinking something? You probably can, because you need to be ready to drive your car to the hospital.
Oh yeah. There is no drinking going on right now. This is a relatively dry household.
So we have a boring show coming up for you then. This is the finale show. We're finally done with Claire's or Tayshia's season, and came to kind of an anticlimactic climax. Sounds like a day in the life of me, anticlimactic climax. But a lot of weird stuff going on in this episode, just in the sense of like Ben coming back, and he said, I wrote, he speaks like in monotone robotic, but he's not the Terminator, he's the Underwhelmer. And he just literally doesn't say much. And I think it was all big moments for him. But I mean, he literally was like, Tayshia, I don't know what I'm expecting. Actually, I'm expecting for you to keep me and give me a rose and get married, but I'm not expecting anything. And having said that, I love you. And I didn't know what it was until Antoinetta told me what it was. I thought it was just indigestion, but apparently it's love. And I don't know what I'm asking for, but please take me back. He literally.
I will say this. At least the guy got sent home with no regrets, because he came back and said, look, I don't know what to expect out of this, but I'm gonna think about this. I'm gonna hold it against myself if I don't at least tell you that I love you, right? Because he figured it out. He didn't tell her when it was still fresh in his mind and fresh in his thought process, right? And he arguably got sent home because of it. And so he's like, well, I gotta, again, there's gonna be that what if scenario in his head. Now there's no what if scenario. He's like, you know what? I came back. I said what I said because it's true. And I'll give Tayshia a bunch of props for this. Not a single guy benefited from coming back after she let him go the first time. Because Ben was technically the third guy that came back.
Yeah, I mean, Bennett came back, and I'm trying to think of who else came back.
I want to say there was somebody else. I could be wrong, but I feel like it was Bennett, Ben, obviously.
Well, you could say he benefited because he got a rose. I mean, it was a weird deal. I mean, he essentially got a rose to be dumped the next day, which it's like,
and that's kind of how she did it. I mean, Bennett was a lot more immediate. She's like, sure, come on board, right? And like she kissed him. Remember? She's like, why did I kiss him? Right?
Oh, when she kissed him then?
Yeah. But and I feel like his was a little bit more delayed than Bennett's was, because Bennett comes back and he's like, all right, cool, like you're in this, only to be sent home later that night at the rose ceremony.
Yeah, just to stir some stuff up.
I guess. I just imagine that, her looking over, the producers behind the cameras going like, yeah, let's roll with it. Let him stay.
I guess Tayshia did say she wished he said it sooner, but at the same time, Ben's got his own issues, and she already told me. I kind of got upset because she was like, I have to constantly pull things out of Ben, and it's so tiring. And then she had to send him home for him to finally come forward and like say, I love you. It's like, isn't that more of the same behavior that you said you don't want?
Is. Yep, it is.
But apparently
she made the right decision.
Before we talk about the rose ceremony, I got really upset. I think I told you this before the show, but Chris Harrison went up to Zach and said, Zach, you're looking sharp. It's the same damn suit he's been wearing the entire time. It's like, I know Chris was gone for 2 weeks, but at the same time, it's the same fudging suit. It's a gray suit with a white pocket square. I mean,
he probably took his son to all the frat houses, and he's used to seeing, polo, not polo, polos and button downs and khaki shorts, and came back to that and goes, wow, a man who's dressed like a man.
I'm blown away. You wore a gray suit with a white pink kerchief. That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, with white sneakers, I'm sure. I didn't catch his shoes.
I don't want to look down with him. Scares me. But I mean, so that bothered me. And then, Ivan was looking good, but Tayshia pulls him aside. And
the pink slip
essentially says, go home.
Yep.
And you're a great dude, but our religion doesn't match up. So it makes me wonder. And he felt like he knew it was coming. So I'd like to actually, with all the in-depth things that we've seen this season, I'd kind of wish they showed us that conversation.
A little bit more of that.
Rather than it's like watching a movie the entire time, like a romance movie, A Princess for Christmas or some shit like that. All of a sudden she's like, I can't marry you because of that conversation we had in the second act. And you're like, wait, we didn't even get to see that. Wait, excuse me? And that's the reason why you're not moving forward, or you're going through with this? I was kind of like, wah. Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Ben gets to stay.
And that's where, right before we hit the record button here on this, I told you, I said, this was, and you mentioned at the very beginning, this is a very anticlimactic finale. Probably one of the most anticlimactic finales. Not because of the, I'll give Claire the benefit of the doubt here. I don't think it's necessarily because of all this crap with Claire and then getting over to Tayshia. I think it's because I think the Bachelorette production crew shot themselves in the foot by a little bit by rushing this, that they get ready for Matt James, January 4th. And it's, I'm looking at this and I'm going, I bet you they didn't have that conversation because they're just trying to get this thing wrapped up. And we've talked about this for the last 2 or 3 episodes. It feels rather rushed. Yeah. Like you started seeing they're starting to accelerate, put their pedal to the metal a little bit on this whole production. And I think that maybe that's a casualty of that happening, is we didn't see that conversation. We didn't have her reflecting with the production crew about that conversation. We didn't see any of that. So when it came down to it, it just felt like they were checking boxes the whole way. Okay, let Ben in. Okay, let's not give him a rose. Have her go to Ivan, send Ivan home. And you're catching these conversations because obviously they had talks about this. We never heard it. We never saw it. We never, so I think it was one of those scenarios where we got gypped of all the time the show typically does waste on absolute garbage, nothing.
Yeah.
We missed some solid content, I think, in this last episode.
Well, I thought it was weird because she wasn't even sad when he left. I mean, when she cried when Riley left, she cried when Ben left, she cried when Easy left, I think. But it
seemed very final. Yeah.
It's like she was like, okay, bye. And he's like, I should have told her sooner. Like, I don't know, is he a straight up Satanist or like it was a turn on a dime, and I feel like we were being buttered up with Ivan all season. He seemed like a really good dude, and then just to have him be like, all right, see you later, Ben's in.
Again, that's kind of where I felt like the whole episode and finale as a general was like, it was just not. It's just like, again, checking the boxes. Okay, done. All right, moving on.
Yeah.
That was one of the moments because it was such a short conclusion to their relationship.
It's bizarre. And then we get to meet Tayshia's family. She says one of my least favorite quotes of anyone at all time when she says,
"Let's do the damn thing."
That's up there. That's up there, though. I hate that too. But when someone says I'm living my best life, I'm like, oh, you're such a liar. Like
that's right up there with I'm doing me.
I'm doing me. Do you?
Yeah.
Or I'm speaking my truth.
I'm speaking my truth. Yeah.
That one bothers me too.
Yeah. That was popular in the last season of Bachelor, I think. Speaking.
Yeah, that was true. And then with Claire, it was true. I just like, your truth does not mean that it's right. It means it's right to you. It's true to you, but it doesn't like, my truth is that, frogs are superior to dogs. Like, that doesn't make it true.
Yeah. It doesn't mean consensus. It doesn't mean actual fact or science. Yeah.
Oh gosh. I understand there's universal truths, but when someone says I'm speaking my truth and there could be more wrong, it's like
you can justify cheating on your husband or wife. Like, well, I'm living my truth because
That's living your splooge.
you
That's
can
living your
justify
splooge, not your truth.
you you can justify any action if you follow it up with "I'm just living my truth."
Yeah, and
Like what?
that one bothers me. And there's universal truths that we
Yeah,
can all get behind, but it's like it doesn't make you right all the time. Anyway, I
yeah. Anyway,
digress.
sorry, I digress. Yes, what was the what was the
She said
phrase?
her parents asked her how she was doing. She said, "I'm living my best life," and I'm like,
Oh yeah, living my
"Gosh,
best life. Yeah,
we see how tortured you are sometimes." But her dad seemed to have a lot of great sense. Ben came into the room, and her dad was essentially not interested until Ben said he went to West Point, and all of a sudden he's like, "Whoa,
mm-hmm.
okay, so you're not just you're not a private, like you went to West Point. That's a pretty big
Yep.
deal." But the thing that really pissed me off hearing Ben talk is that he's never had to apply for a job, and I can tell you why. Because the entire time said, "Why do you love Tayshia?" The only thing that Ben talked about was the way that Tayshia made him feel. She's like, she makes me feel XYZ. And you're like, if you're applying for a job, and if you're a young person listening to the show, don't
Well,
talk about
this position will pay me a lot of money, so I can do whatever I want. I think I can work from home, so therefore I can only work about 4 hours a day. So this really works out for my time schedule.
I love the flexible PTO, and the benefits are fantastic. It'll be really good for me. I like that there's company happy hours. Don't talk about what the company can do for you. Talk about what you can do for the company.
Yep.
Talk about how great the company is and how you want to add to the company. And then he's just like, she just makes me feel the happiest I've ever felt. It's like, great. I'm not interested in you. I'm
That's
interested in my
great.
daughter.
Yes, I'm interested in my own flesh and blood about what you can do for her.
Yeah,
You're bringing to the table,
I'm
bro.
interested in what you
Yeah.
can do for my daughter, not what my daughter does for you.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Oh, because here's the thing. Here's the assumption that we're making. He already knows that his daughter's capable of doing that.
Correct.
Right? Like
Correct.
he knows the kind of person she is. He doesn't need to hear that. I'm glad that he appreciates that, but at the same time, be like, so why does she like you so much? Like, what do you do? What
do you add to her life?
What value do you add to her life?
What are you going to say that's going to make me sign off on this transaction? Not like this company provides such flexibility in my schedule that I don't have to come to work all the time. It's great. Yeah. I love it. Yeah. And by the way, where's your stance on Columbus Day? No, it's
yeah.
yeah. It's just, I thought that was, then they ride off in scooters. It was kind of a big nothing burger of a talk until Zach went and met her family. And I thought outside of, another thing they said too is that when Tayshia says all the things, what have you been feeling? She's like, all the things. Her dad's like has such a blank look in his face. Like, what the hell does all the things mean?
Yeah.
Is this lost in translation?
Yeah, you want to talk about a new phrase? You should add that list of phrases we hate. What the hell does that even mean? All the things. If I'm really glad, and maybe ladies listening, I'm really happy that when I ask my wife why it is that she married me, she doesn't say all the things.
Yeah, okay. All the things.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that thoughtful response. That's where I think and I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, but that's where I think at the very end with Zach proposing was actually solid. Believed it. You want to talk about somebody that knows how to verbalize what that person means to them? Wow.
I thought the same thing, and even the conversations they had with being married, falling more in love with each other every day, the importance of getting engaged, the family concerns, bring the family concerns forward. I mean, there was a lot of conversation that Zach had that was so much more grown up than what Ben had. It's like, she makes me feel good and she makes my penis tickle. It's like that's not there's
what makes me happy.
We've been joking about that all day. So it's like, I just, it was more realistic, more believable. And, and we talked about the family going through the divorce enough. We kind of can get done with that. But, I don't know. So I thought it was a good conversation with them. Then Zach and her have this one-on-one, and they go stand in front of this fountain, and I literally can't hear a word they're saying because the fountain was so overpowering in the sound. And it's like, okay, like I good thing I had subtitles on, otherwise I wouldn't really catch what they were saying.
And where does Zach live again? Does he live in New York City?
I don't think they ever mentioned it.
Okay, I'm trying to remember where. I'm trying to think of like if I ever find out where he was. Well, he was in New York obviously because his hometown was New York, right? But hopefully it is the city because that dude loves fountains. I feel like every date in the future is going to be like, well, let's go to Central Park to the fountains because like
they're gonna have a bubble fountain installed in their backyard just so they can have some nice talks.
They should,
Yeah,
because he is gone. He has pulled out his old trusty, date at the fountain 3 times this episode or this season.
Yeah, but then they go to this weird dance lesson with this married couple that and Tayshia was all in her head. Zach was luckily wearing his dress shoes. Oh, I'm sorry, his Nikes. Again,
his Air Force Ones.
His Air Force Ones, and they they were in complete unison when Zach started to support her. But it wasn't a hard dance. It's a basic waltz. It's what they were doing. It's not a hard.
Get the steps down.
Yeah. It's a box, people. I don't know. Then she talked about what if she wants to become a stay-at-home mom, and she's used to people running away. What if this happens? He's kind of like, we'll deal with it. I mean, what other responses are really?
If I run away, you'll deal with it. What a response! What a response! We'll deal with it. If I run away, we'll deal with it.
Yeah, he can be a wordsmith sometimes. So that was the end of their date. Then all of a sudden, apparently, Ben invites the entire production crew into his room to watch him shower. Oh, I'm getting ahead of myself. I just really want to talk about Ben in the shower.
Shower Ben.
Zach's been 9 years sober, and he's committed to sobriety for life, which I thought was interesting. And then Tayshia is just self-destructing on this date, but they seem to have a really healthy relationship. That's what I wrote down. As I read it, and it's been a couple days since I've seen it, it's like
I know.
I don't know why it's because of
It's because of their actual conversation. But again, Ivan's a perfect example. Like we didn't hear certain conversations being had, right? Yeah. So were they just editing this to make it look like the relationship truly was that much deeper than the rest with Zach? We'll never know. So yeah, I do think that at least what we saw, they actually talk about real shit.
Yeah, and he actually supported her in real functional ways. And I thought, it was believable, and he was patient, and he seemed to have his ducks in a row. Even that moment when she's like self-destructing, and I don't know if it's self-sabotaging or self-destructing. I couldn't really figure out what was going on.
Delineate,
But I believed it, and like you said, we'll talk about it here after we talk about Ben getting the kibosh. But even with the proposal, I wrote down, and I thought, wow, this is actually the first proposal I believed in a long time.
Yep.
It's not like Jeb with his guitar, where it's like, when Jamie smiles, takes me miles.
He skis in his jeans.
He's so Jersey. But anyway, so Ben showers, and there's a good 15-second interlude of him in the shower. Kind of sociopathic that he doesn't close the shower door when he's showering, but I don't think they could get a good enough shot with the door closed. So,
well, it can't. It's like they can't exactly put the camera up above and look down.
Oh, that's true.
That's not PG-13.
That's true. Well, it depends how big the bar is. So he takes a shower. I can only imagine how wet that floor was, and then she walks in and breaks up with him before the date because it just wasn't there. So, thanks for coming back and professing your love, and I'll reward you with this rose, and then you'll be cut right away.
Yep. The good news is that he was still on campus. He hadn't left or anything, had to, re-quarantine or anything. So
he took 2 days.
And he got a couple more nights at La Quinta.
That's true. If I ever go on that show, I'm just gonna come back and I know you've eliminated me 3 times, but there's something that you need to know.
It's Thursday.
It's
Tomorrow's
Thursday.
Friday.
And
I booked my flight for Saturday.
and I like you a lot, so and so, but I really love their coffee in the morning here. Can't find it outside the state, so I'm gonna stay.
I can definitely see myself falling in love with a person like you.
I can most definitely see myself start to fall in love with someone like you. That said, I don't accept your denial. I am still staying here, and
I'm gonna fight for your heart.
Don't worry about the rose. I found one in the garden out here. I'll just paste it to my
Just
chest.
walk in with one pinned on your lapel already.
Yeah, don't worry. I feel. Can you imagine like going to a rose ceremony and you like pin a flower from the garden, being like, I feel really secure in myself right now. I'm just gonna give myself this rose. Feel good about it.
What a life hack! What a life hack if you could find the production manager who manages the roses.
Yeah.
And you just pin one on before every rose ceremony, and they never even you could be not mentioned, and you walk in with everybody else.
You skate to the fantasy suites. It's like, wow, I don't remember giving that a rose. he's here though. Yeah. So
either that just the mind games you can play with people.
Get the streamliner ready. Get the streamliner ready. I'll pull up on my.
What if you just walked in? What if you just walked in like the very first day, right? You meet her, you walk in, but you pin a rose on you. Like you walk in and goes, shit, she already pinned this guy?
That'd be such a power move.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Just mentally mess with the guy so much. Like, they don't have no idea how to play this game anymore.
You walk into the room, you're like, I didn't even say anything. She just gave this to me. It's unbelievable.
Bro, what'd you do? I literally just said, hi, my name's Matt.
Jeez, what nice did you guys say? Didn't you all get roses? This is weird. Oh.
This game is so easy. Anyways, we digress.
I got the no impression rose. It's perfect.
The no impression.
And then if anyone asks, it's the pity rose. Can you imagine just me pulling up with my fake rose and just in my own RV, be like, ready for the fantasy suite? Matt, this is night one. Well, why do I have all these
That's
roses?
A power move. How confident.
Yeah, seriously. Should we decide to forego our rooms? Here's a key.
Should you decide to forego the introductions of the rest of the guys? give her a card. Give her a card signed Chris Harrison.
No, you gotta do like Chris Garrison or something like that with that. So it's not
with a K and with a G.
Yeah, so you don't get sued or anything like that.
Christoph Garrison.
Christoph Garrison.
Oh, anyways, we digress. I hope you guys enjoyed that nothingness that was
that's how Alex and I talk. That's how Alex and I talk all the time. We just kind of go with it.
Hypotheticals. But yeah, so Ben gets sent home. We're talking about Ben in the shower. He gets sent home. She doesn't waste her time with him.
I didn't write anything about Neil Lane, so he probably didn't linger like he did last time.
What I liked is that the production crew always likes to focus on the guys' expressions when they're being walked through the ring types.
Yeah.
And I think they always try and play it like these guys are like, they're panicking, right? Which I'm sure there's a certain element to that because, I don't know, 2 weeks ago they were single, unmarried bachelors, right? So I see a little bit of that. But also, I'm also kind of thinking, if you care about this girl, you are going to be pensive about, which one do I think she would like? Or which one, which one would look good on her? Like, I would be thoughtful, right? Mm-hmm. And I feel like they try and take advantage of that and they kind of market that as like, because I don't know about you, but I'm looking at Zach's expression. The dude looks terrified while he's looking at rings.
I feel like, first off, I thought it was a missed opportunity for Neil Lane to be playing the clarinet or something, or pretending to play the clarinet when he walks in, like he did the piano. But secondly, I'd be like, "Hey, Neil, is this GIA certified?" Because I've been doing my research, and without GIA certification, it doesn't hold its value as long. Oh, yeah. GIA, or no, it's not GIA. It's the other one, EFG. Oh, well, Neil, I expect more from you. You said this is handcrafted, Neil. This work is shoddy.
Yeah. Neil, don't try to sell me on the investment grade stuff. I'm not trading this diamond, okay? I need the thing right below investment grade, okay?
By the way, Neil, am I buying this? Because if you're requiring me to buy this, then can we do cubics until our 5th anniversary, please? That'd be fantastic.
Yeah. What kind of payment plans do you have?
As soon as I give this away, I don't get it back, no matter what. But
that'd actually be a great way to put Neil Lane on the spot to be like, "Are you giving this away for the show?" Like, is the show paying for this? Like, just like, okay, so like, what do the payment plans look like for this? Like,
What are the taxes on this bitch?
yeah, put them on the spot to be like, it's covered by me. Wow, Neil, you're so wonderful.
Wait, how long
So
do I
you're
have to
just gonna
talk
buy
to you
a
to get this thing? How long do I have to talk to you to get this thing for free? How much airtime do you need, Neil?
Neil.
Can I call you Neil?
Neil.
Whoa. Hey, did you ever notice that his name is the verb that you do when you propose? You kneel?
Oh.
You think it's a
wow,
a
that's super meta.
I know. Do you think that's a fake name? Do you think his name is like, what if his name is like Craig Lane and he doesn't change his name to Neil?
Probably. I would say, yeah, that could be definitely a thing. Neil Lane. He's probably a Jerry. His name's probably Jerry Lane or something
Jerry
like that.
Lane.
And he's like, that ain't gonna fly in this industry. Neil.
Yeah, that's what you do when you propose. Wow. Okay. Well, I like thinking of verb names like Neil and Mark and past tense verbs like Doug. Like those names, they're really fun. Anyway, I digress again.
Pat.
What's that?
Pat.
Pat's a great. If you have any great verb names, please send them in because I love verb names. Like Bob. Bob's a good one.
Bob.
Yeah. You're thinking about it now.
I'm thinking about, you got me thinking about something. Is will one? No. I mean, you could will something into existence. You could will something, but I don't know if I don't know. That doesn't really fly. But
yeah. Like Jack.
Bill.
That was a good one. I don't think I've done that one before. Jack is a good one.
Tell me. Jack.
Technically, Matt is one if the header was an E. M-A-T-T-E. Matt. Like matted. Yeah.
I like that.
Well, send us in your best verb name.
As you can see, this is a thrilling episode. As you can see, this is a thrilling episode that we're covering.
Twitter's at RO Stones Guys on Instagram and Twitter. Give us your best verb names. All right, so Zach.
We get to Zach.
The only thing I wrote down is like Zach went to Chris Harrison. I was walking up. He said, "Life can turn on a dime," and Chris was like, "Yeah." What can you say? Like he didn't help him out at all. Like he's like, "Yeah, I don't know. What can you say? She's up there. Go get her." But did you write down any of his speech? I said his speech was heartfelt. This was the best I've seen in a while, is what I wrote down. But I remember like something like, "I'll chase you. I'll continue to chase you," or chase is another verb.
I think it. Oh yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
I think that there's something to be said for the fact that you and I both actually were paying attention thoroughly to that portion.
Not writing anything down.
Because because we didn't write anything down and he wasn't he was dragging our attention away to whatever else we were doing, because obviously we were both kind of like, anyways, let's see what the Twitter sphere is saying about this, and trying to think of, memes or something we could create and send on to the Instagram account or whatever. Some of the episodes, that's how it goes, especially with Claire season. I'm like, my eyes are on my phone, figuring out other things we could do, waiting for a moment to turn into a meme. And this one, I was like, hold on, put down my phone, and I just listened. And
it was much better than Dale's speech. Dale's speech, I can remember, was something like, apparently you picked me a lot earlier. I had a lot of TV time. I was hoping to get exposure. I was hoping to go from Party City to Halloween Town, my modeling career. But yeah, I'll choose you now. And I think that we've demonstrated over the last 5 days that we can handle anything, all the ups and all the downs.
I'm dying to see how this turns out. I'm dying to see how their relationship turns out.
I know, but Zach and according to Reality Steve, Zach and Tayshia are still together. And the only other note I have on my sheet was she was eating donuts.
She likes donuts. She's raved a couple times about donuts.
She's a big donut connoisseur. So that is the season. So we have 2 stones ratings to give, one for the episode and one for the series. So I will go first. No, wait. Let me do the whole spiel. This is romancing your stones. Our stones, romance them, please. And we determine how bad or good an episode is for a male to watch it. We each have 2 stones to give.
Naturally.
2 stones means you enjoyed the episode and you could see yourself watching it with or without your girl. 0 stones means an active castration is more preferable than watching this show. Also, we have the meaty scale, which is brought to you by Alex and all our future sponsors that we can't name without getting sued. So, Alex, I will give this episode 1 stone because it was 2 hours of filler with a great scene when they get proposed.
In which we obviously noted and missed some content.
Correct. So
from Ivan's conversation.
I'll give 1 stone to this episode. And overall, I will give this season 1 stone. And that's 0 stones for Claire's portion and 2 stones for Tayshia's portion, which it balances out to 1 stone overall.
Shoot, man. I don't think I could have said it better myself. 1 stone for the episode for the exact same reasons you mentioned that. It had that moment, literally the last 5 minutes of the episode. I was like, hold on, got to watch this.
Yeah.
And yeah, overall 0 stones, absolutely for Claire's season. Absolute garbage, train wreck. And Tayshia saved it with an actual season.
I wish there was a whole season of Tayshia because I thought she was great. I thought the conversations were mature. I thought that they talk about Claire being the oldest Bachelorette, but I think the most mature Bachelorette we've had in a while has been Tayshia.
Yep. And I'll add that it would have been a 2 stone season for Tayshia, but they rushed it at the very end. The last 3 episodes, they just shoved forward. And I think that's where you could see a lot of the emotions and expressions that they were feeling towards, especially Tayshia, having to move so fast without having
the time. They didn't have it after the final rose.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like, they're right.
I can't help but feel bad that they kind of swept her season under the rug and then moved on to Matt so quickly when, quite frankly, she's probably one of the healthiest bachelorettes that we've seen.
And Matt's season looks like they have 17 times the budget of this season. I mean, if you look at
they're in Connecticut or something like that, right?
Yeah. Are they? I don't know.
They're on the East Coast somewhere, and I think they're up in Connecticut or something like that. So
interesting.
Well, yeah.
What about meaty scale? Will this beat spam, folks? Stay tuned.
Claire's season was tofu.
Tofu.
Okay.
It was
negative
meat. Negative meat. Yeah.
Negative meat. I don't know how I can give it more of a negative non.
It's the impossible. It's the impossible burger. Not only because there's no meat, but it's impossible to watch.
Yeah, exactly. It's an impossible burger. That's perfect. You should do the meaty scale. Tayshia's season, I'm going to say was a nice bacon wrapped filet mignon. I like that little 12-ouncer. Wow. It was solid. It was a lot of really good stuff. We actually, if you pay attention to some of the conversations that are had during her season, you start to find out like there's a lot of moments where you can take advantage and practice introspection. Right. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff there's a lot of reflection points in this episode. I think, like I said, I think there's one of the most healthy reality TV show seasons of all time of any dating show. Where you can actually, I don't know, maybe grow from it personally because they explore some things. So I like Tayshia's season. Again, I think it wasn't done justice. I think they swept it under the rug. And I wish we could see a full season of Tayshia.
Okay, so if you round those 2 things out, it's that old package of cube meat that the grocery store sells for stews. So if you take the Impossible Burger and the bacon wrapped filet mignon, you come up with stew meat. So you had 2 out of 4 stones for the episode, 2 out of 4 stones for the season, a bacon wrapped filet mixed together with an Impossible Burger or tofu, however you want to say it. And that's what you get. So Alex, good luck with having a baby.
Yeah. We got to maybe we'll send out some photos of the kiddo on Instagram once he's born. We'll get some ROS Stones guys gear, which we need to get on.
We gotta get people, we have merch, but it's not cheap. So
we're not popular enough to mass produce it, so it's very expensive.
We need more participation from y'all if you want merch, like some of you have asked for. But having said that, Alex will most likely not be available for the first episode of The Bachelor due to the fact that he would be with an infant for 4 days at that point in time, potentially. So let us know if you want to co-host at RO Stones Guys. If you want to get on here and do this with me, you think this is easy, bring it on. We'll see how you can do. And follow us on Twitter at RO Stones Guys, on Instagram at RO Stones Guys, YouTube at RO Stones Guys. You know, if you haven't figured out a pattern then yet, then please don't reach out to us. We don't want you as a fan. I'm joking. Yes, we do. All right. Well, Alex, good luck. We'll be thinking about you, buddy.
Thanks, all. Take care. Be
Happy
safe.
New Year. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
And I laugh at everyone that thinks that 2021 is going to be any different. All right. Bye.